Hey guys, Drifter here. This is the last of my first game series. Today I'm playing on the Annihilation map pack map Silo. I'm using the silent MP5K. Unfortunately, I don't have that badass MP5N or MP5SD from other Rainbow Six or Modern Warfare games. I really hate the MP5K in pretty much every game it's in. I much prefer the MP5N. Anyway, I'm using Lightweight Pro, Sleight of Hand Pro, and Marathon Pro. Yes, I actually got the perks right for once because I'm not using a goofy or made up class. This is a class that I may use all the time. This is my absolute first game on the map, so I really don't know where I'm going at this point. I'm just kind of playing it by feel, estimating, watching the radar, and guessing where people go. Got a nice double kill on these snipers in the beginning, and I meant to pick up the L96 with variable zoom, but I accidentally got ACOG. I don't know how that first one missed. I thought I would have shot him right in the ass and got him one hit. Missed that one. I'm like, you know what, screw this. I'll just take my Magnum back and do my little lightweight jumping. I love lightweight because I can just jump down and wreck people like that. Somehow got a headshot out of all that spraying. Take the Scorpion off your hands there, bro. But this is listed as a Drift0r's Madness Epic Dream story because I have more to talk about than just the gameplay. The gameplay you're going to see go from kind of confident right there to very flustered as I start getting my ass kicked, and then try hard as I start trying very, very hard to come back and win this game. First up, guys, I'm in a pickle and I could use some help advice-wise. I'm trying to make armored shoulder pads out of an old car tire and an 18-wheeler tire. Fucking claymores. Unfortunately, I cannot find a way to cut the tires into pieces. I already have the tires, but a handsaw doesn't work, a wood saw doesn't work, a metal saw doesn't work, a jigsaw power tool doesn't work, and drilling holes in it and then jigsawing it doesn't seem to be helping much either. If there are any handymen out there, anybody that have experience with this sort of stuff, could you please tell me how the fuck I would go about cutting a regular car tire into nice little shoulder pad sized pieces, because I could really use some advice on this one. Trying to make the Raider shoulder pad armor. But let's move on to the dream story. I had a dream a few days back. It was, I would say it was pretty bad, psychologically disturbing, if not wonderfully violent. I guess this would be the most recent resurgence of Mr. Shadow, but it had a very different feel to it. It was, well, there's some stuff I have going on, but I'll tell you about that. I love that jump right there. That's a great jump. And I'll take his gun too. I'll tell you about later on. But what happened in this dream, how do I describe this? Because I believe I slept all the way through. I didn't wake up in the middle, so my memory of it's a little bit more fragmented. It was kind of like, imagine if, just for sake of argument, that Mr. Shadow was actually real, or he's very real, but instead of being trapped inside of my head, what if he had his own body and he could do whatever he want, fulfill his own objectives without being limited to my frail, pasty self over here? That fucking sniper, that guy's just messing my dick up, but the other guy with the ballistic knife is also going to rock my world a lot. This was what the dream about. The dream was about what if Mr. Shadow had his own body and he was free to torment me or bother me as he saw fit, and it was a bit of a psychological nightmare because it started out, I'm just minding my own business, and for some reason I believe it was my fiance comes into the house and tells me there was a giant box of papers delivered to the house, and I'm like, okay, so what, just see what's in them. We open up the box of papers, and it's a list. It's a list of every single thing I've ever done wrong in my life. Every lie I've ever told, every person I've ever hurt, everybody I've screwed, everybody I've cheated, everybody I've talked shit about. Every single little minute sin, big, bad, well, the big ones were highlighted, unfortunately, fucking cunt. And a nice organized list, even sortable by category. I believe it used the 7 deadly sins. And it thankfully, thank God, it looked like something made up. It looked like something too ridiculous to be real, and I just, it scared the shit out of me. I don't know if you've ever done this poker face kind of moment. I was scared shitless because everything on that list was absolutely real. We're not going to discuss it in detail. That's my business, not yours. And I just kind of, I'm panicking. In my brain, I'm just going absolutely crazy, shitting my pants. I should have killed him in one shot there. He ate the claymore full on, and then I hit him once. He should have died. I don't know how that didn't work. But I poker faced it and I just said, well, you know, that's kind of weird, you know, somebody's maybe playing a prank on me or something like this. It's you know, I wouldn't worry about it. Okay. And she actually kind of believed it. She bought it, went along with it. But the same box showed up at the houses of a lot of my friends and family and other people. Do I get a double kill right here? Yes, I do. Screw these guys. I'm getting really sick. I kill these snipers a lot, but then they kill me a lot, and we go roundabout on this map. And everybody starts looking at me really strange when they know all the bad things that I've done, all the things that I've said about somebody that I should not have said, and it's really frustrating. But then, let's say Mr. Shadow steps it up a notch. The things in my house start going missing, and they always end up, well, not saying when you look for something, it's always in the last place that you look, but they just end up in very strange, arbitrary places, and I don't understand it. I don't understand how somebody's getting into my house and moving my things. And then I find a note. The note says, what did it say? The note says, trying to get the words right here because I don't want to screw this up. I think it said, everything is predetermined. I know exactly what you're going to do before you do it. And I just crumple it up and walk to throw it in the trash can, and there's a note pinned to the inside of the trash can that says, don't throw this away, it's important. And I'm starting to panic now. So I uncrumple the note and shamble back to my desk, and when I sit down at my desk I notice a little piece of paper in the corner that wasn't there before that says, yeah, you should probably file this, you'll need it for later. I'm like, what the fuck? It gets more ridiculous. And I try to leave the house, the door is locked. And there's a little note taped to the door that's like, yeah, I knew you'd try to leave. You know, pussies always do that when they just try to get out of the situation. You're stuck with me now. And there was a little radio, or there was a little box sitting beside the door that said, open me. And when I opened the little box, there was a little walkie-talkie style thing into it. And when I answered on the other end, my voice answered back, but a more evil kind of my voice with a slight twinge of hatred and pain added in. I guess I don't really feel like doing that. I'm not really the voice kind of guy. Did I just walk past somebody, not stab them? Weird. And at this point, everything begins to get a little bit crazy. Have you ever seen Bill and Ted's Totally Bogus Journey with Keanu Reeves and that other dude that had Christopher Lloyd as Death, and they played Death in a game of Mousetrap and Don't Wake Daddy and won, and then they went to heaven and got Albert Einstein and two aliens, and they had this crazy epic time travel showdown at the end with this guy that was the world sit-up champion in like 2070 or something like that? This is how the rest of the dream goes. It might have actually been inspired by that movie, because the end of that basically has Bill and Ted time traveling, and they have a confrontation of, I've won with this guy, and this guy says, no, I've won because when I hit this button, a big cage is going to fall down on you, and I'll open the door, and you're trapped. And they say, no, we've won, and he hits the button and a cage fall down, and Bill and Ted say, no, we won this fight because we'll go back in time and make it to where the cage is unlocked and they open the door. And the guy says, yeah, but I actually won this fight because I'll go back in time and make it to where, and they go back and forth countering each other until, of course, Bill and Ted eventually win. Mr. Shadow starts doing this with me. I answer, and he says, you know, you can't leave. So I try to open a window, and I move back the curtains, and the window is covered with bars. He's like, yeah, I knew you'd try that first. And I look over at a different window, and he says, yeah, you're going to look at the porch window next, and then the next thing you were thinking about was the back porch window, which was, of course, the next thing I was thinking about. He says, like I said, you're stuck with me. I know exactly what you're going to do before you do it. I know everything that's in your head, and there's nothing you can do to get rid of me. There's nothing you can do to outsmart me, because I am you. I have all of your knowledge, all of your information, your skills, your powers, your abilities. I am your doppelganger, and you can't outsmart me. So, but I panic at this point. I try and run to the, I just take about 3 steps, and he says, nope, back door's locked too. And then I step to a different direction. He's like, no, the window's on the side of the house. I put spikes on them. You don't want to go that way. And I'm like, fuck you. And I run, I look at the spikes. He's like, yeah, I knew you'd look at the spikes. That's why I painted your name in them and all this kind of crazy stuff. And the next thing I thought to do was to break out the jigsaw that I was using earlier today to try to cut up tires. I don't know, I guess I was thinking about Fallout stuff before I went to bed, and try to cut a hole in the wall and open the jigsaw box, and there were no saw blades. And Mr. Shadow said, yeah, I figured you'd try and cut your way out, so you should probably check this other box that's right beside the jigsaw box. And I open it up and all the saw blades are bent. And he's like, yeah, that's not going to work either. And we go around everywhere I go. He's one step ahead of me. He's got the house locked in, got me locked in, got everything figured. Man, I used a lot of bullet spray in that guy. And I got a text message. I hope that's not my fiance texting me saying that I'm being really loud and waking her up while she's sleeping, or having to listen to this very unusual, creepy story while she's sleeping. Wow, got lucky there. That guy's, he raped me this game, but sometimes you just can't beat a regular gun with a ballistic knife. You go round and around and around. And I just get more angry, more aggressive every time I'm stumped, I'm beaten. He's countering every move that I make before I make it. And I get this brilliant idea: I'm just going to set the house down, set the house on fire, and burn it down. And as it's burning, I'll just kick down something and get out. So I go to the stove, and I notice that the gas is already cut and leaking into the house. He's like, yeah, I knew that was going to be your next step, so I decided to do you a favor and just go ahead and cut the gas line so you can burn your way out easier. And he tell me something like, the whole house is filled with gas, you know, you probably don't want to do that. And then my only answer was, to tell him to go fuck himself. Get a lighter, light it in a different room, and chunk it at the stove. The stove blows up, sets a big fire. Not like a colossal explosion, but like a big kind of fireball, and sets everything on fire. And Mr. Shadow's still talking to me through the radio, saying, "Ah, now you've done it. Now you've set your whole damn house on fire. What are you gonna do?" One thing I should probably tell you that you didn't already know is that I had all the doors, windows, and house reinforced with steel while you've been out. So you're now trapped in a burning cage. And I am starting to shit my pants at this point because my house is on fire, I'm running out of breathable oxygen, making that awesome jump again, and I'm in a steel cage. So the only reasonable thing to do is grab a baseball bat that I purchased recently and start beating the ever-living shit out of the weakest part of the wall. And Mr. Shadow's constantly humiliating me on the radio, saying you can't do it, you can't break out, you can't escape me no matter what. Oh god, running out of time. Long story short, I brute force my way through the wall. He's waiting outside the house in a white van. I pry the door open to the van, pull the baseball bat to punch a person, well, to hit a person that looks identical to me but with black eyes right in the head, and that's when I wake up. Drifter out.